Hello everybody, Father Richard with a vinyl tag. I got tagged. Rob Walker let the music play tagged me. I think a week later, Happy Hippy, the vinyl guy, is that his name? Tagged me. And it's a thread that's going around. One album, one decade. I don't know, you show one album per decade for however many decades you can. And I decided, I got tagged, so I'm going to do it out of friendship to Rob Walker, who I like, and the Happy Hippy, who I like. Now, Rob Walker, I guess, I don't watch Rachel's stream anymore. I do check in once in a while. I will be honest about that, but for the most part, I don't watch it anymore. And I'm getting a tickle. I still haven't bought those Ricolas. I guess Rob Walker showed, Rob the Wax showed Rob Walker's kid on the stream, you know. Now, the kid isn't a minor, so I don't think it's that big a deal. But it's just weird. Why does the Wax have pictures of Rob Walker's kids on his phone? It's just fucking weird. Say what you may. He can say, oh, someone sent it to me. So what? Then you delete it. You don't show it on a live stream, for God's sake. But anyways, I'm going to show one record per decade that is an iconic record for Los Angeles. And it's not the best album, might not even be the best example from LA, but I was going to show some Eddie Cochran for the 50s, but the albums that I have by him are 60s releases that were released after he passed away. So I thought, you know, it doesn't matter. Because Eddie Cochran he lived in Bell Gardens, where I lived for many years when I lived in Southern California. But the Beach Boys, Surfing USA. This is an iconic Los Angeles album. And this is the first Beach Boys album that I ever heard. I heard it over at a friend's house. His older sister, who I kind of had a crush on, was playing it. And I dug it, man, right away. And this is a cutout. Now, some people say these are promos. You could buy these, especially the Beach Boy ones, at Kmart. 3 for $1. The 70s. I could have picked, there's a lot. I could have picked an Eagles, but I don't have any Eagles. I'm gonna show Jackson Browne. Probably not the biggest selling record of the 70s, but it's part of that kind of that 70s LA sound. And I think this is Jackson Browne's best album. I don't know if it's by far, but it's kind of by far, in my opinion. It's a great album. Every song is really good on it. Some people don't like Linda Paloma. That's actually one of my favorite songs on the album, and every time I hear it, I get a little teary-eyed. Oh no. The 80s. It's wide open, man. Los Angeles, especially the early 80s, dominated punk rock. You know. I'm not saying they're the only good music came out of LA, but LA hardcore ruled. But I'm showing this one. Motley Crue, Girls, Girls, Girls. And I'm surprised this is in the shrink, huh? It's not real tight, so I'm going to take it off. Yeah. This kind of epitomized the LA Sunset Strip hair metal. People call it glam now, but I don't remember. We didn't call it glam. I can't even say what we used to call it, us punks. I'd get canceled by all you sensitive types. But yeah, it has some really good, well-written songs on here. But it's not a good album. In fact, I don't think Motley Crue really made really great albums, to be quite honest. Now, I did see them at the Whiskey A Go-Go. I've told this story before, but whatever. My cousin Marty, he's the one that passed away with cancer at 27, I think, maybe 28. But anyways, he got kicked out of the house. He moved in with me for 6-9 months, I don't know. And I took him to the Whiskey, and we saw the Dickies, and he really liked it, you know. Back in them days, the calendar section, it was like a magazine of the LA Times. And you could see, you know, upcoming bands. And it was I think it was the following week, it might have been 2 weeks after. Marty said, "Hey, Rich, it's on me. We're gonna go back to the Whiskey A Go-Go." And it was Motley Crue playing. They didn't have an album out yet. It was gonna come out, I think, later that year, and on Leather Records or something like that. And I bought that version. But anyways, I go, yeah, sure. So we went, we're standing in line, and then I guess apparently they lived up the street, up the hill, and they were walking down, and my cousin goes, "Hey, there's the band." And I looked over there like, oh, not a Chicks with Dicks band, you know, because that's what the punks used to call them. And everybody in the line, man, just turned around, and they were giving me stares, you know, because I was the only person probably there that had hair like this. Everybody else had long hair, you know. Man, that place, you could smell the hairspray in that place. But anyways, they were great. They were really good. In fact, that set was better than any of their albums. They never captured that on any of their albums. And I told after the gig, I told Marty, I go, you can tell those guys got it, man. They're going to make it. And sure enough, they did. Now, I think it was like a year, maybe a year and probably a year and a half later, I saw them at Magic Mountain. Theme park, Six Flags Magic Mountain. And they used to have concerts there. And Motley Crue was playing. So I go, oh, fuck, let's go to Magic Mountain, you know. So we went, and there were skulls and pentagrams on the stage. And I go, what the fuck? Is this the same band? And they came out, and they sounded good. But it was like the imagery was totally different than the glammy look they had at the Whiskey. And then a few years later, I saw them at the Forum promoting this tour, I guess. And they come riding down on Harleys. And I go, what the fuck? Now they're a biker band, you know? It was pretty weird, man. 3 totally personas they gave. But, I mean, they're an okay band. But you know what? I'm purging some records this week. And I don't think this is that great a record, so I'm probably going to purge this one. I mean, I'm not going to listen to it. And for the 80s, I mean, that was 80s. The 90s, I'm going to go with L7, Bricks Are Heavy, as an iconic album from Los Angeles. It has that heavy sound. They get lumped in with the grunge scene, which I kind of get. They weren't from Seattle, though. They were from the LA area. I also saw them before they had any records out in the late 80s. And yeah, they were a great band. But yeah. And that's it. I don't have any iconic albums from LA from the 2000s or the 2010s. I have albums from those time periods, but I don't know if you would call them quote unquote iconic as far as in relation to you know, what's going on in the bigger picture in the world. Because I mean, let's be honest, pretty much rock is dead. And that's I come from a rock perspective. I mean, everybody's going, oh no, there's some good rock bands. Yeah, there are some good rock bands out there, but they aren't part of the mainstream anymore. I mean, it is what it is. It might come back, it might come back, I don't know. You know. So my advice to anybody that collects guitars, they sell for a lot of money. Sell those things while the boomers are still alive. Now, I mentioned that I'm purging some records, and I think I have 30 records in the back. And I'm not going to show them all, because if I show some of them, it's going to piss some people off. But I'll show a couple. This one, Blue Oyster Cult, Secret Treaties. I'm going to purge this one. I listen to it, and I go, man, I don't need to hear this anymore. When I did a video, the third album is their best. Somebody mentioned this, this should have been included, I don't know. I guess if this is their best album, I'm not a Blue Oyster Cult fan. Nazareth, Expect No Mercy. This album, it's okay. I don't think the songs are all that great. Their first album, Hair of the Dog or whatever it's called, that is a great album. This one, I don't know, the songs aren't quite as good. Chad and Jeremy of Cabbages and Kings. Chad Stewart and Jeremy Clyde. It's okay. It's their psych album, but it's still kind of a wanker. This is actually, I listened to this one, and this is actually a good album. It's a good prog album by Barclay James Harvest once again. But I don't feel like listening to this album. I played it, and I was thinking, man, it is good, but I really don't have a desire to listen to this anymore. And I hung on to this because they did play the Wheelie Festival that I was at. And they were one of the better bands. They had like a small chamber orchestra on stage with them. Now, like I said, I could show some others and people, you're going to get rid of that? But here, I probably went through like a couple hundred records. And I think I have 20 over there that I'm purging. And these are the ones that made the cut. Well, there are some others. Casey and the Sunshine Band. This one's going to make the cut, dude. There was a hit on here, but I don't think it's on side one. Oh, Boogie Shoes. I don't think this is like their biggest album, but it's making the cut. Jerry Mulligan Quartet. It's a good album, man. It sounds really good. And I'm not a big one, I listened to that because it sounds great. But yeah, I enjoyed it, so it's staying for now. Willie Nelson, Stardust. I don't think this is close to his best album. In fact, his version of Unchained Melody almost got me to the point where I was going to get rid of it, but it's staying for now. Airto, Virgin Land. This is pretty good, man. I was surprised. I purged my other, or it's in the pile, my other Airto. But this one's staying. It's a little more weird. Now, surprisingly, this one's staying. God's Valley of Peace, Peggy and James Hazelton. I've had this for a while. It was actually packaged. It was like, I ordered an album, and this was like packing material. Never listened to it. I listened to it, and I really liked it. It's pretty, it's a religious album. Some people might have issue with that, but I just kind of liked the simple production, and I don't know. I think I liked it. And the last one I'm keeping is Chris and Rita Break Away. This was kind of like a folky, I don't know. Anybody that knows Chris Crosser fan, or however you say his name, they're going to know what this sounds like. With his girlfriend, maybe, Rita Coolidge. This is a really good album. It's not what I reach for often, but yeah, I was surprised. This one kind of blew me away. And that's it. Take care, everybody. Take care. Go Jets.